Hi, welcome to the channel. I'm Jay, and this is R2 Cents, where we talk everything boxing, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion. In today's video, we will be discussing and recapping the Liam Smith versus Chris Eubank Jr. rematch. But before we do that, make sure you punch that like and subscribe button to help support the channel, and make sure you let me know and drop it below your 2 cents as I go through the video. Now, Liam Smith and Chris Eubank Jr. had a rematch today. And Chris Eubank Jr. did exactly what he was supposed to do in that fight. He dominated Liam Smith. He came into the fight. He looked healthy. He didn't look drained like he did the last fight. He came in fighting, different. He came in fighting behind the jab, landing the 1-2s, landing some nice body shots, some nice uppercuts, some nice body shots. And he just really performed. It was a total domination. I believe Chris Eubank won every single round. I did not give one round to Liam Smith. Let me repeat that. Liam Smith did not win one single round. Now, so I'm just okay. First, I'm just gonna recap the fight. You know how I do. I'm gonna recap the fight, go through everything I see, and then I'm gonna drop my 2 cents about the situation. So the first fight that Chris and Liam had, I still believe Liam was winning that fight, but he was getting touched up by Liam. He was getting hit because he was fighting with more of the Roy Jones style, with the hands down and the moving the shoulders and trying to throw shots, like kind of awkward quick pop shots coming in at the different angles. And I'm not saying it wasn't working for him, but it was working for him offensively, but defensively it wasn't working because he kept getting hit by Liam. And obviously Liam, he has some power on his punches, because even today in the fight, I think he hurt Eubank twice, if I'm not mistaken, or at least I felt like he hurt Eubank twice that I seen when he did finally see an opening to let his hands go. So obviously Liam had a little power, a little pop on his punches, and it was a controversial knockdown in the first fight. Chris said he was hit with an elbow and all of this stuff. I'm just telling you what was said. Like I say, I just let you know what I hear and then give my opinion based off what I've been hearing around on the boxing streets. So, he said he got hit with an elbow. He said he was weight drained. He tried to cut weight a way that he had never tried before. And once again, like a lot of people want to continuously say, like, when you try to state observations, or when a fighter tries to, say what may have warranted the type of performance they had that night, a lot of people try to say that they're making excuses. And that's not an excuse. To me, if you say, well, the reason why I lost the fight is because I was weight drained. If I wasn't weight drained, I would have beat you. To me, that's an excuse. Like, oh, so if you weren't weight drained, you would have beat me. Okay. So basically, because no. But if you say, I cut weight away I didn't cut before, I was weight drained. Because Chris did look weak in that first fight. He looked a lot stronger in this fight. So he didn't look as strong in the first fight as he looked at this fight. So, he's not even saying that's the reason why he lost, because before he got knocked out, it's arguably he was winning the fight. So that's not an excuse. And when you watch the fight today, Chris looked stronger. He kept his guard up. He came in behind the jab. And okay, let me see. Okay, so let me get into that. And so now one of the reasons why I was so interested in the fight also is because Chris has left Roy and went to go work with Bomac. He went to Terrence Crawford's camp and went to go work out with Bomac and his other two trainers. And I was like, okay, I'm interested to see how Chris will look in this fight. So he looked great in the fight. Like I said, he looked great in the fight. He was a total domination. He won all rounds 1 through 10 until he knocked out Liam Smith. So now let's talk about Liam Smith and the observations that I made from Liam Smith. It looked as though Liam, this fight, was weight drained. And it looked as though Liam might have been, he had some type of injury or something. I think I might have heard them say during the fight he had an ankle injury or something, because he was just standing there and he wasn't throwing any punches and he wasn't really being competitive at all. Liam Smith was not competitive, just to give my 2 cents, in this fight at all. He was way more competitive in the first fight. He threw a lot more punches. He moved a lot more around the ring. And this fight, it would be like a minute and a half in a round and Liam haven't even threw no punches. And I just kept saying the whole fight while I was watching it, like, what is Liam doing? And so I would see him wait for Chris to let off some combos, and then he'll see an opening, pow, and he'll land a hard shot. And I know the shots was hard because I seen Chris' head snapping back, or, boom, snapping to the side, because he was hitting him with some nice shots. And so I started thinking in the beginning of the fight, I was like, okay, maybe he's waiting on an opening so he can land hard shots. And then as the rounds went on, and I was seeing how Eubank was just letting off combinations, and he'll get him on the ropes and he'll just let off combinations, and Liam was slipping a lot of them. So then I started thinking maybe rounds 4, 5, 3, 4, 5. Oh, okay, maybe he's trying to let Chris punch himself out, because in the first fight, towards the end of the fight, before Chris got knocked out, they were looking gassed, both of them. So I was like, okay, maybe he's trying to take him into deep waters. And so then once we got after round 6, and I seen Liam still wasn't doing anything, he was standing there even more, throwing even less punches. I was like, his game plan has to be to try to find an opening and knock him out, because at this point, he's lost every single round, and we're in round 7. He's lost every single round, and we're in round 7. And he maybe threw 1 or 2 combinations in this round. And so my observation from Liam was that Liam, he wasn't competitive at all. Whatever he had going on with him caused him not to be as competitive in this fight as he was in the first fight. And that's the observation that I made. And what was weird was, because the build up to the fight, I watched, like, how they do the sit down and they talk, and, I watched all of, their little interviews and stuff. And Liam kept, jabbing at Chris about saying, he basically saying he had a hard weight cut and he had a hard time making the weight. So he kept jabbing at him about it. And at the end of the fight, Liam had the audacity to say, basically he didn't do good and wasn't competitive because of his weight cut. And I was like, wow. After all of that, Liam, like, you shouldn't even said nothing. You should have just kept that to yourself. You just should have said, I didn't show up tonight to fight. I had some things going on. The better man won tonight. But for you to stand up there and say out of your mouth that you had an issue with the weight cut after you just clown Chris Eubank this whole build up to the fight, that was out of line. But, like I said, I appreciate the fighters for being honest. We have to stop ridiculing and tearing these fighters down when they're, just trying to express themselves and let their fans know, why they didn't perform how they expected to that night. It's not an excuse, because the fans see it. It's not like we don't see it. We see something's up. Everybody could notice that Chris Liam was just, something was going on. He wasn't as competitive as he was the first fight. He was barely throwing any punches in the round. Everybody could see that. But why? So I just thought that was funny that he even had the audacity to mention it. But I don't have a problem with him mentioning it, is what I'm trying to say. So now after the fight, I hop online, watch a couple videos, see a couple tweets, and I hear people calling for Bomac to be trainer of the year. And yes, Chris Eubank looked good this fight. Yes, he looked a lot better than he did the last fight. However, he beat Liam, which arguably he was about to beat the first fight. He just got caught, with a legal shot, or, he just got caught. He was wagering, whatever the case may be. And obviously in this fight, Liam wasn't able to be as competitive as he was the first fight. So he pretty much just stood there the whole fight, trying not to get knocked out, if you ask me. And he wasn't even doing a good job of that because he wasn't throwing no punches. So I think, in my opinion, just to give my 2 cents, I think it was a good fight. I think Chris Eubank looked good. I like the style that he fought. He looked good. Now, the style was good, but I don't know, if he were in a more highly competitive fight, because I seen like as the fight went on, I seen the habits picking back up a little bit, the dropping the hands and swinging the shoulders, but you can hear Bomac in the corner telling him, keep your hands up, keep your hands up. So he did a good job of sticking to the game plan and staying consistent. And I would like to see him stick to the game plan and stay consistent against better competition. Because Liam Smith, in my opinion, just to give my 2 cents, just didn't come to fight tonight, and he didn't bring it. So I would like to continue to see Chris work with Bomac and see how he looks in another fight. I'm not sure who he's gonna fight next. I think he was calling out Triple G. I'm not sure who he was calling out, but I'm interested to see who he's gonna fight next. Maybe he might move up. I don't know, because if he's having trouble making the weight, it doesn't make sense for him to stay at the weight. But as far as Bomac being trainer of the year, and he worked with Chris for 4 weeks, so that's just kind of a reach, in my opinion, for right now. Now, if they continue to work together and he continued to improve and continue to win, then I would be like, yeah, that's great. Bomac, he got him another fighter. He was able to put them together. He was able to put great game plans together for them to go out and beat tough competition. So I'm just going to keep my eye on Chris right now and see how his career continues to progress as he works with Bomac. But I want y'all to let me know and drop it below what y'all think about the fight. Let me know and drop it below about what y'all think about Bomac being trainer of the year. And make sure you help support the channel by punching that like and subscribe button. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at 2cents20 and follow me on IG at 2centsboxing. And stay tuned for my 2 cents in the next video. Peace.